Welcome dear students to this particular short video on container management, innovative packing and green supply chain management. Well, I'm going to talk to you about the first part, which is container management, and why does it play a very important role in supply chain is what we're going to look at in this particular video. Well, this is going to be the content. I'm going to talk about first. I'm going to talk about the container management and optimization process, and later on in the other videos we will get to understand about load filling and the role of green supply chain management today's supply chain context. So looking at container optimization, why this is very important, as we all understand in the whole supply chain process, there is one very important process called transportation. We talk about inbound logistics and outbound logistics. Inbound logistics is a process where we are bringing all the raw material input factors from various sources of supply to a place of manufacturing, assembly, or production. Similarly, finished commodities are going to be shipped out to the various destinations, to the various markets, from where it's going to be sold to the ultimate customers or clients, right? And that's what we understand by outbound logistics. Now, inbound logistics and outbound logistics are a very important activity in the supply chain because the lion's share of what we are going to be spending on supply chain management, what an organization is going to spend, is on transportation. So, not just looking at transporting or identifying the right type of vehicles or the right type of route or uh, or ensuring optimization in terms of route, try, trying to reach out to destinations. Load becomes very important. How much of a load are we able to optimally utilize or use in those vehicles that are going to be transported becomes very important, as every unit of the item that is transported incurs cost. So that's why we talk about container optimization. Containers are huge, uh, are huge metal boxes in which materials are stored. It could be raw materials or it could be finished commodities, but these are items that are of huge value to the organization. It's going to be transported. So, how optimally are we utilizing the space that is available in the container, which is going to be later on used for transporting it to various destinations, either the place of production or to the place of selling, becomes very important. So, let's understand the meaning of what container optimization is. It refers to the process of maximizing the utilization of space inside the shipping containers. Okay, this offers us three advantages. One is it helps us to reduce transportation costs. It helps us to reduce the damage risk of the item, so it's safe and secure till the time it reaches the destination. And then we are also able to utilize the space optimally, so that no space is wasted, because once we take up space in a particular container, that's a space that we're going to be utilizing, and we pay for it. We pay for the space that we are using in the container to the transporting agent or transportation or agent, or to that agency that is offering us this container space. So we should be able to make use of that that space that is available in the container. Uh, Container optimization is a very logistics planning technique that determines the best way to pack products into containers, maximize volume utilization, and reduce the transportation cost. So, how well we are able to utilize the space in the container and then also take the advantage of route maximization or route optimization that the transport agency is able to offer is going to help us reduce cost. So, which is going back to the drawing board, every rupee that we save in every aspect of supply chain, this could be in container management or it could be in transportation, is going to help us to reduce the total landed cost of the supply chain. Now, what are the objectives of optimization? So these are points that we've got to keep in mind. One is to ensure that the container space is optimally utilized, so that all the materials that we are going to load, so when we are booking in for container space, we've got to make sure that we have enough materials to transport. So ensuring that the capacity is fully utilized. Second is reducing the shipping cost. So ensuring that we are opting for the right transportation mode, so that the right type of transportation is going to be used, whether it's road transportation or rail transportation, or whether it is transported or via sea. We have to make sure that the mode of transportation and the route of transportation is optimal. And then the volume of items that we are going to be shipping also has to be optimal, so that we are able to reduce the cost. Next is to prevent the damage of the products, to make sure that the product is safe and secure till it is received very well at the place of production or at the place of selling. And then it helps us to improve transport efficiency if we are able to optimally load the materials, not overloading it or underloading it, but making sure the right load is on the right vehicle and it is able to, the density of the weight is good enough for the transportation in the appropriate vehicle. Now, what are the functions of container optimization? The first benefit that we will be able to secure is determines the optimal packing configuration, so that we are uh, uh, booking the container space, but also depends on what kind of items we are going to be transporting and what shapes and sizes are they. Once we are able to put them into carton boxes and then we are able to store them, what is the width and the length of each of those boxes, and whether boxes where items can be stacked one over another. All of these are things that we have to see, because we want to utilize the space in the container so that maximum items are loaded, optimally loaded, so that we are able to enjoy the benefit of the cost. Balances weight distribution so that it's not lopsided, and then we have to make sure that the weight is evenly distributed in the container, and then minimizes the unused container space. If at all there is unused space, we try to see how we can use it by adding on or bringing in additional material that has to be transported to that particular place. Reduces the number of containers. So instead of taking 2 or 3 trips, or instead of booking 2 or 3 containers, if you're looking at optimization of the container space, then we can do that in just one or two if it is optimally utilized. So it's not the the container is not underloaded or is not used up to optimal, if it is not used till the proper capacity. If there is more unused space, then all that leads to wastage in terms of space and in terms of cost. So we've got to make sure that we plan this well, so that we book the right number of containers and then ensure in that one trip that the container is going to go to a particular destination, that we are able to transport the right quantity of goods. So let's look at the steps. If you want to go through the optimization process, what kind of decisions will a firm take? The first decision is to product data collection. Find out which are the products that we need to be transporting. What is this item that we need to transport? What are the dimensions of the item? What is the weight of the item? And how fragile is that item? So that helps us to understand what is the kind of packaging material that we're going to use, so that the product has to be safe and securely packed, and it has to be loaded, unloaded, and it has to be transported. It has to go through all those uh, processes. So fragility becomes very important. The shape and dimension of the product, the package decides the packaging, and the packaging dimension helps us to decide how we can arrange those boxes in the container. Second is container selection. Now, how big a container would you want? A 20 feet container or a 40 feet container, or if it's a item that is going to be perishable, then we need refrigerated containers, or it's a very special purpose containers, or containers that are going to transport uh, automobiles, like for example, two-wheelers and cars. So the different types of containers that are available. So based on the product that you want to transport, you choose the type of container. Then we look at optimization calculation to help us understand what is the maximum load that can be uh, that can be uh, that can be taken inside a container. So today a lot of software calculations also will be able to tell us to it can calculate the cubic feet inside the container, the height and the width, the total height and the width, and then the number of items or boxes that we're going to store, the shape and dimension of each of those boxes. All of that is going to help us to know what is the maximum that we can load. So it's not manually done as such, but today with the help of software, we are able to find out the optimal capacity as such. Then we do simulation, so visualizing the entire packaging layout, how we are going to stock it. So you can look at various combinations in which you can stock it, which where the big boxes are going to come, where the medium-sized boxes are going to come, where the lower weight boxes are going to come. And if this container is going to move to different destinations for unpacking or for unloading, so what items should be deep inside the container? What items should be in the middle of the container? What items should be at the front of the container, so that the destination that we are going to reach first for unloading should be items should be kept right in the front as such. So all of these calculations are very important. All of this is very much important when we plan and we visualize. Next, we look at the loading plan generation. What kind of instructions we would want to get. So a lot of details would be given on the packaging, would be given on the boxes as such, and then also loading instructions. It has to be printed on the it has to be printed on the boxes, on the container, so that those who are loading and unloading should be able to, those who are loading and unloading should be able to know how to handle these decisions as such. And then finally, we look at execution. So, taking those items or boxes and loading them into those containers is what we are going to do as such. So, planning is very important because that is what is going to mainly decide how we are going to do the container optimization as such. So, I'm giving you two examples of container optimization. The one that is used by Amazon. Amazon uses container optimization algorithms to reduce the shipping cost and maximize container utilization. So, Amazon is one major player that we know which is into shipping and then shipping of goods and services across various destinations. So they use the algorithm, help of a software, they're able to handle and maximize the space utilization in a container. Merck is another container uh, service operation firm. So they help us. They also help organizations or producers to also know how to manage containers through their advanced planning systems that they have. So the loading, unloading, the shipping efficiency. This is Merck is an expert that you see in the field of shipping logistics, as we can say. And so organizations, they offer a lot of these services to organizations that are in supply chain and are involved in the movement of goods and services from one destination to another destination, right? So in summary, we're going to look at container optimization, how well we are utilizing the space inside a container, how an organization is going to use the space optimally, loading in the right kind of items, loading in the right kind of right type of dimensions of boxes, and then how they're going to move it to to move it to each destination, so that every uh, cubic foot of cost that we are spending on container space is well utilized, and we are able to receive the return on investment in uh, in uh, in loading, in container optimization, and also helping us to save a lot of cost in terms of transportation as such. So thank you very much for watching this video. The next video we will look at the load optimization, the load filling concepts, and what are those technical aspects that are involved, and how do we safely package a container, safely package an item inside a container is what we're going to be looking at in the next video. So thanks for watching.